Moving on, despite Africa's efforts to end illegal ivory trade, China still provides a ready market for ivory, according to the findings of a study done on the markets of Beijing and Shanghai since the year 2002. The report published by Save the Elephants and the Aspinall Foundation indicates that the wholesale price of raw elephant tusks has tripled in the last 4 years. Godfrey Ouma has more.
Poaching has surged in the last few years across sub-Saharan Africa, where gangs kill elephants and rhino to feed the Asian demand for ivory and horns for use in traditional medicine. The report also showed that the number of elephant ivory items on sale in Beijing and Shanghai increased from 5,241 in 2002 to 8,444 in 2014.
So it's mainly a Chinese problem. If you don't solve the Chinese demand for ivory, we're sort of wasting our time. There are over 1 million Chinese expatriates in Africa, and they're scattered all over the continent, and they're buying 98% from these open markets. And then they're buying wholesale, of course, the big tusks, which are going to China for legal markets and illegal markets. And what's driving it all is just one word: money, 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 money. The price of ivory in its raw form, wholesale, in China has tripled in the last 3 or 4 years.
Researchers surveyed price, type and overall number of artifacts on sale and compared the results with what they had found on previous surveys in 2002.
It was very difficult to see this ivory going on, the sale, coming from Africa and seeing the devastation of our elephant populations, realizing that actually we were only visiting the outlets showing the tip of the iceberg in terms of ivory being sold. Most of it is going on behind the scenes, with illegal ivory coming in its raw form from African countries, especially Nigeria, Angola, Sudan, Ethiopia and Egypt. Mozambique is a growing problem.
As one of the world's most lucrative criminal activity, valued at $19 billion annually, illegal wildlife trade ranks 5th globally in terms of value, behind trafficking in drug, people, oil and counterfeit, according to the International Fund for Animal Welfare. Some wildlife groups estimate that over 90% of ivory sold in China is illegally sourced, but officials say in the recent past China used ivory acquired through legal auction and in no way encourages or worsens the problem of elephant poaching in Africa.
The Chinese have had a long tradition in carving ivory for thousands of years, especially today with the increase in wealth in the country. More and more Chinese now can afford it. Since the 19th century, the main buyers were actually foreigners. And now, since the Chinese CITES ban on the ivory trade, preventing the international trade of ivory, it's the Chinese within the country who are buying the ivory, and they consider it a very beautiful substance from a very powerful animal, bringing them good luck and a sense of safety in their homes, and they use it for decorative purposes.
Southern Africa is the home of nearly 55% of African non-elephants. East Africa has 28%, and the number runs a risk of diminishing if efforts to curb poaching are not stepped up. Fight for your heritage, protect your wildlife. Reporting for WTV, I'm Godfrey Ouma.
On our feedback question tonight, we ask you, do you think the government is doing enough to stop poaching? Do you think the government is doing enough to stop poaching? Now, send us your thoughts on our SMS line 20058, and we'll sample them and post them on our Facebook page, WTV Kenya.